Hello, in this video I'll show you how to remove and replace the shock absorber, the spring or the strut support mount on Kia Ceed. I'm talking about the front shock absorber. That's the shock absorber right there, that's the spring, and the strut support mount is on top. First we'll start by removing the wheel. Next we need to remove the brake hose from the shock absorber. It's held by one bolt right there, and there's another bolt right there that we need to remove. And also the shock absorber is held by the two bolts right there, and also we need to remove the twist rod that's held onto the shock absorber. If the video is useful, please like and comment on the video and subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this. Next we're going to remove the nut holding the CV joint to the wheel hub, and we're going to push in the CV joint. If you can't push the CV joint in, you might want to hammer it a little bit so that it gets released. Next I'm going to put an elastic rope around the whole wheel and hold it in place so that when we remove the shock absorber, the wheel is not just going to fall out. Next we're going to remove the two bolts holding the shock absorber on the bottom. Now that the bolts are removed, the shock absorber is free on the bottom. Now next we need to remove the three bolts holding the shock on top. These are the three bolts, actually three nuts, holding the shock on top. Before I remove the last bolt, first I'm going to go on underneath the car to catch the shock absorber so that when I remove the last bolt it's not going to just fall out. That's the last nut on the top removed. Now I need to just take out the shock absorber. And that's the shock absorber out. Next we're going to be replacing the shock and the strut support mount. For this purpose I'm using a spring compression tool. This is the spring compression tool. It's going to compress the spring so that the shock gets loose and we can remove the bolt holding the shock on top. I'm going to compress the spring until the shock is loose, and then we're going to remove the upper nut. In order to remove the bolt, first I'm going to put locking pliers on the shock to hold it from spinning before I try to remove the nut. And now I'm going to remove the nut, and along with that I'm going to remove the strut support mount and the shock. That's the strut support mount removed along with the bearing. Now I'm going to remove the locking pliers and remove the shock absorber and put the new shock absorber in there. I'm also going to get this rubber thing from the old shock absorber and put it on the new shock. Now I'm going to put on the new shock absorber. Make sure you put it in its exact place like the old one, where exactly the spring is sitting. Then we're going to put these dust covers on, and then we're going to put on the new strut support mount along with the bearing. This is the new strut support mount right there, and that's the bearing. And here you can see, I'll show you the part number for it. That's the part number. First I'm going to put this metal thing on, and then I'm going to put on the strut support mount along with the bearing, and now I'm going to put the new nut on. Next I'm going to tighten the nut. Now that the nut is tightened, make sure the shock is lying exactly in its place on the bottom and on top. And now we can remove the spring compression tool, and we're done with replacing the shock. Now next we're going to put it back on the car. Putting the shock on the car is exactly the reverse way as removing it. First we're going to put it in there, put it through the 3 holes and put the 3 nuts on. After I put the 3 nuts on, we're going to tighten them, and then we're going to put the 2 bolts on the bottom side of the shock. Now we're going to put the wheel hub onto the shock absorber, put the two bolts on, and then assemble everything else in the reverse order. Hopefully the video was helpful. Please like and comment on the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.